today we have Chirag Kotak. My first question is, many companies are struggling with delivering the same level of experience across channels. What advice would you give them?
So firstly, before any advice, I'd love to just say I empathize with this, right? It is easier said than done, especially with today's customer and the different touch points they have. Thinking of offline, online, now thinking of messaging, video, etc. It's hard to actually deliver that. But really, what I've seen is where organizations have done this well is really bringing the organization together, breaking silos, especially with these different businesses, with retail, with online, with social. Breaking these silos, having a customer centricity will put you on a path to overcome this challenge.
That's an interesting take. Now tell me, how can AI increase empathy when it comes to conversation with customers?
So AI is quite a broad topic, right? And in terms of its applicability, it's quite wide. So it can be applied in really understanding the customer first, really looking at all the information, the signals, the touch points you have with these customers to understand them better. And then using that with artificial intelligence, be it for the next best product. What should I reach out to this customer with? We're all inundated with emails, with promotions. But those who are able to use AI effectively to really understand the customer and then deliver something personalized to them, that's where AI really works well. Similar in conversations, really having the automation where AI can actually help solve a lot of problems. But you got to approach it with a word of caution, where it's not a one approach fits all, really catering it for different kinds of customers. And also knowing the fact that not everyone loves to talk to an AI. So when do we interject with the human intervention, knowing that balance? No one does it right, but it's all about learning with the implementations, evolving, and getting it towards an optimal solution.
That's a great point, and you did mention about conversation. So let's come to conversational commerce. How do you see that contributing to customer loyalty and better results for brands?
Yep, a topic close to my heart. Maybe just to give some context, what is conversational commerce, right? It's all about bringing that commerce experience through conversations, right? And conversations happened offline previously, but today in the digital world and thanks to the pandemic, a lot of this is happening online. So that's where conversational commerce fits in, bringing that experience closer to the consumer, where they have the ability to interact with the brand. And that's where we talk to a brand. Why? Because we love to get some advice, we get recommendations. And once you deliver that through conversational commerce, customers do feel that the brand hears them. There's brand advocates available to speak to. And that brings customers back. We've seen conversations drive new customer acquisition well by giving the right experience on the platforms they want to interact on. And then once you deliver the experience, they know I can come back easily. Imagine like a WhatsApp, for example. If I've spoken to someone from a brand on a WhatsApp, and I know I can just go back anytime, I'll just pick up the phone and chat quickly. And that's much easier than browsing a website, etc. So that's why it's really bridging the gap of the offline world and the online world and increasing customer loyalty.
So is there a tipping point where the customers, when they're engaging on conversations, become buyers?
So yeah, there are tipping points, but also that opens the opportunity for brands to convert them better in terms of, again, keeping the customer in mind, right? Not having a one approach fits all. Really understanding what are customers talking to you about. If they're there for service or support, let's give them that, don't sell. No one wants to be oversold, right? So address those issues. But when they're asking about products, asking about recommendations, which often we do, we want advice, what will look good with this, what's good for me. Having that ability to really, again, without selling, giving the right advice, and then just a nudge to say, hey, I can help you make a purchase here. So why not? And that will say, okay, I can do that. Let's proceed. And that we've seen as a kind of an aha moment as well, that they didn't expect it, but it can be done today.
All right, and these aha moments and recommendations are all about personalization. So what advice would you give to brands in the Middle East when it comes to offering personalization at scale?
So a good question. I think this is probably amalgamating everything we've spoken so far, right? It's all about understanding your customer. I think that's the first thing you have to understand. And then using that information to better equip the experience, having the right a balance of automation, AI with human interventions, and then using the tools and technologies that are available today, right? Like with the likes of the Meta family of apps, with other channels, there are tools and platforms available. And then bringing the balance of the data, the experience, and the platforms, that's the way to do it. And then just one advice, it's never perfect, right? It's starting small, learning, evolving, and moving towards a near perfect.
That's a very sound advice, and thank you so much for the insights, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ravi.